Hey, what are you drinking?
Espresso. It's been a long semester, so I'm getting a jump start on finals week. Wait, hold on. I brought one for you too.
You're the best.
Cheers.
That is nasty. What is that? It's not espresso.
Well, it's actually called a teardrop. It's shots of vanilla, 2 shots of espresso, and cream. There's another name for it, but I can't figure out what it is.
I've got another name for it. Nasty. Now that I've got no feeling in my mouth, welcome back everybody to another episode of Texan Entertainment News. I'm Jack Cochran.
And I'm Aimee Nash. We've got a unique episode in store for you today. Let's jump right in with this week's news.
Since its release in the early 1990s, the Mortal Kombat franchise has sold more than 35 million copies to date. Earlier this week, Mortal Kombat X was released, and according to co-creator Ed Boon, this was the biggest launch in franchise history. MKX is currently available for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and mobile devices. Now you have to wait for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 for their release during the summer. However, GameSpot's review of the game is still in progress and will be released soon. On Thursday, Hillary Scott of the band Lady Antebellum was forced to evacuate her tour bus after it caught fire off the highway in Garland, Texas. The bus driver quickly pulled off the road after a back tire blew out, and just after everyone evacuated, the bus burst into flames. Scott, who was accompanied by her husband, tour manager, and driver, were on their way to the Academy of Country Music Awards in Dallas. According to Scott, who later posted on social media about the incident, everyone is safe and sound.
Speaking of country, I'm going to take the reins on this next one.
You really went there, didn't you?
I sure did. In this week's edition of the 10 Top 5, we're taking a look into the best movies of the man himself. The Duke, JW, whatever you know him as, we've got the top 5 best movie performances of Marion Morrison, according to movies.acmtv.com. Number 5 is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The 1962 Paramount Pictures film takes place as a flashback in which a United States Senator makes his way from Washington to attend a funeral of a local rancher. This was also the film where several characters were referred to as Dude, which at the time was a fancy name for overdressed city slicker. And here we just thought it was a compliment. Number 4 is True Grit. Director Henry Hathaway had quite a bit of work cut out for him with this movie, considering it released the same year as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids. All efforts paid off because this was the only Academy Award that Morrison ever won. This movie was one of the top grossing films of its time, making over $30 million in the box office. May we also remind you that this movie was released in 1969, you know, when matinee movies were quite a bit cheaper than they are now? Moving on. Number 3 on the list is Rio Bravo. A powerful duo this movie had. The Duke starred alongside Dean Martin, who in the movie arrests the brother of a well-known rancher. The two team up with a cripple and a young gunfighter to ward off the gang of the local person being taken captive. In 2014, this film was deemed culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant and was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry. So you can probably expect this movie to make another appearance in high definition later on in your lifetime. Number 2 takes a look at a softer side of the macho guy himself in Quiet Man. This romantic drama had Morrison playing a more suave role, very different from any other role he had. This film won not 1 but 2 Oscars for Best Director by John Ford and Best Cinematography. Side note, remember watching E.T. a while back and seeing the kissing scene that Elliot reenacts at school after being contacted telepathically? This was that movie. And number 1 on the list is The Searchers. Set during the Texas Indian Wars, Morrison stars as a Civil War veteran who spends years searching for his abducted niece. According to critic John Ebert, Morrison's character Ethan Edwards was one of the most compelling characters Ford and Wayne ever created. It was named the greatest American Western by the American Film Institute in 2008, and it placed 12th on the same organization's 2007 list of the 100 greatest American movies of all time. So naturally, it sits number 1 on this list.
Wait, you said Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Who's Wayne?
I should slap you right now.
Well, don't go all 007 on me, all right? We're done here before I get confused anymore. Today's show was brought to you by Alejandra Arguin and Katie Tonkin. We'll see you all next week for another episode of Texan Entertainment News.
Hold on. Wayne. John Wayne. That's what that drink was called.
Let's be real here. John Wayne drank his coffee black. No cream, no sugar, black. End of story.